Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of HeartSlayers. You're here with Derrick Acosta and
Meg Turner.
We are the HeartSlayers, here today to answer all your questions in the world of love, friendship, interpersonal relationships, or whatever you want to talk about. We're going to be taking calls, answering emails, so let's get it started. All right, everybody. Today we're going to start with an email, and it reads, Dear HeartSlayers, I recently have been dating online through one of those services, and I was talking with a girl consistently, and we had met up for a couple of dates. The pictures of me she had seen were of me in Mega 64 merch. Nice. And she liked the wizard shirt. Very cool. While messaging online one night, we were sharing videos, and I shared a video of Rocco dancing to the empty podcast set in a pig mask. The girl was not a fan.
Oh, no.
Saying that she could have done without having seen that, and things ended shortly thereafter.
Thanks, Rocco.
However, having seen an episode of HeartSlayers where a caller discussed getting married at a young age, there was some feelings that made me feel that this girl was not the one. I moved on and found another girl that loved me for my quirks, and when I showed her the same clip, she laughed! This new girl and I have been on more dates now and are going steady. I enjoy our time together, and we watch and laugh with Mega 64 videos, and while I was previously hung up on the first girl, this new one has opened my eyes that there is indeed someone more fit for me out there that also enjoys my Mega 64 wizard shirt. Not asking for advice, just sharing a fun story of how you provided some good advice to someone else that benefited me. Thanks!
That's awesome, but also thanks, Rocco.
Yeah, really appreciate the email, and I'm glad we could help you out. To anybody else watching out there, don't share videos of Rocco dancing in the pig mask until you are in a well-established relationship.
It's a good test.
Yeah.
For if they're into you, maybe.
Yeah, as this email has proven, that could be the deal breaker if you guys have not established a solid foundation yet. So,
could you imagine breaking up with someone over someone sending you a YouTube video?
YouTube video of Rocco?
Okay.
Maybe. Depends on which video.
No pig mask.
Yeah, you know, if Mega 64 is not for everybody, it's hard to get into it sometimes. So, you know, if you don't know what you're looking at, it's very easy to just want to get away from the whole situation. And that pig mask is scary too.
That's
so,
true.
You know, you're probably thinking like, is what this guy is into? Like, is this his way of introducing this pig mask into our relationship? Like, is this going to be in the bedroom next?
Yeah.
You know, all these questions come up. Nah, I'm joking. I'm glad that he found somebody who enjoys Mega 64, obviously, a new fan. But more importantly, I'm glad he found somebody that enjoys him and the things that he's into. So, glad that we could be of help to you. And it sounds like you're doing good. So, thanks for the email. All right, moving right along, we're going to jump into another email here. This one says, Hey guys, I recently just came out of a very long-term relationship. Basically, it was my fault. And it was something that couldn't be just a simple fix. I have really strong feelings for this person, and I really don't want to lose them. However, when we are together, she tells me it's like we aren't even close anymore, and that I'm like a stranger, and that she just wants to be alone for a while. I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, I'm afraid I might never be able to be with her again. I want us to stay together and make things work, but the way she tells me about how she feels around me now wouldn't be fair to her. Should I keep trying to convince her that it would be worth it to work things out, or should I just give her time and hope for the best? I appreciate any help I can get. Thanks, E. Okay, so this guy was in a long-term relationship, but they broke up. It says that it was something that was his fault and something that couldn't just be a simple fix.
Wow.
Very vague as to the reason you guys broke up. I wish there was
Right.
more information there.
Hopefully it wasn't sending a YouTube video of Rocco dancing.
You never know. Honestly, he didn't say. It could be the pig mask all over again, like from our last email. But they are still hanging out. He doesn't want to lose this person. They spend time together, but it seems like she's not interested. His question is, should he keep trying to convince her that it's worth it to work things out, or should he move on?
I sometimes feel like trying to convince people that it is worth it will have them pulling back even harder.
Yeah. I want to kind of ask, and I'm wondering, like, worth it to who? Like,
right.
Obviously you think it's worth it and you want to get back together, but does your ex-girlfriend even feel the same way? You know, how is it worth it to her to get back into a relationship that already didn't work one time?
Exactly. And I also feel like relationships, they end for a reason.
Yeah,
and
they do.
It's hard to get back into that when you know why it ended in the first place.
Yeah, and we don't know what went wrong in your relationship. You make it sound like it was a major thing and that you say you were at fault. I don't know if you did something to your girlfriend, but in my opinion, in my experience, when something happens that causes a relationship to end, it's really like a precedent has been set. You can't undo that event. You can't take it back. So to get back into a relationship, it'll never be the same relationship because you'll always have this thing that kind of happened between you guys.
Exactly.
Not that couples don't work through their problems, but you know, it's there. It's there. You know, whether it's something like somebody cheated on the other person and then they get back together, there's a trust issue that
absolutely
will always be there.
And then they'll even sometimes hold it over you when you get into a fight later on.
Yeah. And it'll be something where it's like they say like, oh, it's fine, you know, I forgive you, I forget about it. But then as soon as they get pissed off at you, it's like, hey, you know what else? I'm still angry about the last thing.
Yeah.
And it's just not conducive to a good relationship. So, you know, I think that it sounds like you're still really emotional about the breakup. You still really like this person. So I think you guys should spend some time apart.
Yeah.
And I think you will realize that it's going to be okay to not date this person.
Right.
And maybe after you realize it's okay not to date this person, this is going to be tricky advice here, and I wonder if I should say this. Sometimes you need to be okay not dating a person to get back into a relationship with a person.
Yeah.
But if you are coming off of a fresh breakup, and you haven't had this time to get over that relationship and you're still wrapped up and just thinking like, I got to get them back. I want to get back to where we were. We have to get back together. That puts a lot of pressure. Like Meg said, it makes it hard for the relationship to work.
Yeah.
So I don't think you guys should be together right now. I think that you should move on in answer to your question. Maybe later, you know, something will be rekindled, but you need to work on yourself for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Just keep the friendship line open, and if something organically happens, then great, but I wouldn't force it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, thanks for your email, and let us know how it all works out. Moving right along, we have a follow-up to one of our emailers and viewers from last week's episode. So this reads, Dear HeartSlayers, last episode you read my email, and I sincerely appreciate that. You made very excellent points, and although I did get to them a little late, I still hang on to them. Real quick, just to catch everybody up, this was from a viewer who was friends with a girl, and they started dating. And after a while, she pulled back and said she didn't really want to date him anymore. He gave her a Christmas gift. I think it was an article of clothing. It didn't fit properly. And while he was trying to get a new Christmas gift, he found out another guy had given her the same gift. And he got very upset. They ended up breaking up, or the relationship didn't work out. And he was wondering, should I stay friends with this girl or should I just move on and cut her off? And my advice to him was, you know, if this friendship is meaningful to you, if it's a real friendship that you appreciate, which it sounds like it is a good friendship, then you should work on maintaining that, and being okay not dating her. Right. And just happy that she gave you a shot.
Yeah.
So here's the update. I last left off wondering if I should just be her friend. I did decide that being her friend was the best course of action. Nice.
Good. ...
But to win her back...
Oh, no.
After the initial dispute over the holiday, a couple weeks of talking, we decided to hang out again, and it was like old times. Over a few weeks, I was bringing her the occasional flowers, chocolates, and even a makeup Christmas gift. It all culminated to one full day at Disneyland where, after signs of flirting and joking around, I made my move. Cuddling started. But I tried to kiss her, and she resisted. I felt rejected, and I almost called it a day. But I stayed the course, and I apologized for breaching that barrier. I wined and dined her and ended the night with, you guessed it, more cuddling. I figured, hey, things probably were a little fast. Next time. That night, a picture of her and the guy who got her the same Christmas gift surfaced. They were hugging, intimately, I might add. I asked her where that left us, and she replied that the events at Disneyland were strictly platonic and had no romantic value. When she told me that she closed herself off to relationships, she did fail to make it clear that I was absolutely never getting that chance again. Absolutely no hope. Another argument erupted, with her almost cutting me off entirely, but I apologized in person the next day. And since then, we've been friends, but I've been keeping my distance and figuring less is more. We talk now and again, but I proceed cautiously. She invited me out recently to hang out with mutual friends, but I politely declined. My feelings are still kind of in pieces, especially when I see her moving on. I'm starting to exercise again and even got the ball rolling on my education. Now is the best time to better myself and look forward. Again, thank you for everything that you do. Every little bit helps. No longer so confused in SoCal. All right. Well, it seems like you... first of all, thank you very much for the update, because I think we always want to know how it works out after we give somebody advice. They so many times they go off, we never hear from them again, and we just wonder, like,
did it work?
Did it work? Did they take our advice? Is everything okay? So I really appreciate you giving us the update. It sounds like you don't even have a question. You're just filling us in on what happened. But I have my own response to everything you just told me in that email. It sounds like you didn't really take the advice that we gave you last time, or that I gave you last time, which was, just to recap, this girl, it was cool that she gave you a shot at dating. She gave it a shot, and then she was upfront with you and told you that, she's not really feeling the relationship. She still wants to be your friend, but she doesn't want to string you along or lead you on, which I think is really cool. Because a lot of people, not just girls, a lot of people in a relationship are too afraid to upset the other person that they will kind of just lie to them or not bring it up and just make the other person feel like there's something there when there really isn't. So the fact that she didn't want to do that to you is really respectable, which made me think this person might actually be worth maintaining a friendship with, because it's hard to find honest, real, genuine people that care about you enough to care about your feelings and be honest with you.
Right.
Sounds like you didn't go that route. Sounds like you pretended to be her friend so that you could get her back into a relationship, force her to be into a relationship.
Yeah.
Meg, have you ever been in that situation where a guy, you thought he was your friend, you thought things were just platonic, and then he drops the ball on you? I have feelings for you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh my God.
Does it happen a lot I feel like that's something that happens a lot to girls.
I think it definitely happens a lot more to girls than it does for guys.
Yeah.
But I've found myself in situations where it's like I'm hanging out with a friend thinking we're just hanging out, and then all of a sudden I'm on the most awkward date I've ever been on.
Oh no.
They're asking about my family and all of these weird questions that I'm like, oh shit, am I on a date right now?
Oh man.
And it's really weird. And so no matter how much you might try to wine and dine these girls, it's like, that's not going to buy a relationship for you. And it sounds like that's kind of what you tried to do.
Yeah, I think not so confused in SoCal. I want you to imagine this, okay? I want you to imagine one of your best friends, but somebody who is not, that you don't find attractive at all, okay? Maybe even for a second, imagine your best guy friend, okay? And you're hanging out, and then all of a sudden, your best guy friend, or whoever, you're just not into this person, slips their arm around you, and they start like cuddling you and being like,
trying to kiss you.
Yeah, they try to kiss you, and they're like, so what's up with us? Just imagine the pit you would have in your stomach. Like, what the fuck, dude? I thought we were just hanging out, going to Disneyland, playing video games, having a good time, and all of a sudden, you're trying to put this relationship on me.
Yeah, especially too because it's like, okay, it sounded like you had this conversation in December when she said she wasn't looking for a relationship. It's now February, so you're really only giving her 2 months to not be in a relationship before you try to push her into one.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not a lot of time has passed, so you're really kind of representing yourself as the guy that every time she sees you, she's got to put these guards up like, oh, is today another day where he's going to try to get me back into a relationship? It's not a good look for you, okay? That's not a place that any guy wants to be in. Sometimes a guy finds himself being that guy, and he doesn't even realize it.
Like, I understand you might think that this girl is absolutely worth it and you really, really want to push yourself into a relationship with her, but she's just clearly not ready for that.
Yeah.
Or just does not want that.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's my main advice to you. You want to date somebody who wants to date you.
Yes.
You don't want to be in a relationship where you feel like you made the other person be in a relationship with you, or that you tricked them or coerced them or, wined and dined them and basically took a situation where they weren't attracted to you and you put some sort of weird spell on them and now they are attracted to you.
Yeah.
That's not cool. That's not a good relationship. You want to be with the girl who finds you fucking irresistible. The girl who sees you and says, that guy is what I'm looking for. Want to break me off a piece of that. That's who you're looking for, okay? And so your friend, this girl, is obviously not that person, okay? She's not, like, falling down all over herself to be with you. So you really shouldn't, be trying to make her be in a relationship with you. You need to realize it's so much better to be with somebody who really wants to be with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get into relationships, they're in your situation and it works and they're able to get into a relationship, but the other person isn't really into it. They're kind of going along with it.
Yeah. And then you could end up getting used from that.
Yeah.
Because you're the one paying for everything, taking her to Disneyland, whatever. And she's like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. And it puts this weird leverage in the relationship where the girl could be like, well, I didn't really want to be with you to begin with. You know, you forced me to be here. I'm doing you a favor being here. So take me to Disneyland, buy all my meals, or else I'm out of here. And that's not a real relationship. No. So it sounds like you have cut her off. You've moved on. Maybe that's the healthiest thing for you to do right now. If you do, if you want to maintain a friendship with this girl, maintain a friendship. Yeah. Do not maintain or entertain the idea that you guys will become lovers, okay? Take that off the table, because if you don't, you might miss out on a really good friendship, a really fruitful, beneficial relationship. A platonic friendship is a really good thing to have. It's a powerful thing. Yeah. You need to have friends there for you, and friends of the opposite sex are really great for helping you with your future relationships, or just, it's a great thing to have. Yeah. Bounce off somebody who has a different perspective. So, take the relationship off the table. Don't lose out on the beneficial friendship, but come on, be a good friend. Yeah. Imagine again how you would feel if somebody who you just considered a great friend kept trying to get with you and
that's
F you.
Not a friendship.
That's not a friendship. So just think about that stuff. Again, really appreciate the update. I still think you have some stuff to sort out there, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
As long as you take our advice. Thanks for the email. Take care. Good luck. Okay, moving along here. This next email says, "Hey, Meg and Derrick. I went to my first game days this year, and I had a really great time. My boyfriend nor any of my other friends were able to go with me, so I attended alone. But again, it was still a lot of fun. However, one regret I have is not really talking to anyone, including you guys. I am super shy and have a hard time striking up conversations with strangers. I always think, no one wants to hear about this, when I try to come up with compliments, comments, or questions to try and approach people with. Even though that's like the entire point of attending a meetup centered on a certain interest. Any advice on how to overcome this or even just make acquaintances when you're on your own? Thanks, Jay." So thank you for your email, Jay. You went to game days and had a hard time coming up with good icebreakers. What's your technique for talking to people? Do you ever go to meetups or I go to a lot of conventions?
Yeah, I mean, just for work, really. But,
Yeah.
If I ever do go to a convention, like, and I happen to be on my own, like, I went to TwitchCon on my own.
How was that?
It was interesting. But
Did you meet new people while you were there?
I did. I networked like crazy.
Okay, so what was your kind of go-to for striking up conversation with people?
So I did know a couple people there, but I was there primarily by myself. But if I saw somebody in like cool cosplay, oh my God, you look amazing. Like just throw out a random compliment. There was a group of people where I was in line for something and I asked them, is this the right line? Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And we ended up hanging out for like an hour.
Wow.
So it was awesome. You just kind of have to chat, make idle conversation with people. And I personally hate talking to strangers. And because I do have a bit of social anxiety. And I just don't love talking to people that I don't know. So I honestly, my biggest thing is I think if you just strike up a conversation, they will talk back to you.
Yeah, I don't like talking to strangers. I think everybody has it like built into them at an early age, don't talk to strangers.
Right.
And then when you grow up, it's like, well, I want to talk to a stranger kind of, but I feel like maybe I shouldn't. I think that your advice is great. It's the same thing I do. Start with a simple compliment. Don't overthink it. Literally, here's the perfect icebreaker for any situation. I like your blank. And don't fill in the blank with something disgusting men out there who are watching. But,
yes.
You know, I like your shirt. I like your shoes. I like your cosplay.
Yeah. People compliment, like, because I have crazy hair or I have tattoos. People are always like, oh my God, I love your hair. I like your tattoos. And if I want to talk back, I'll have a conversation, but I'll usually be like, thank you, and then keep going.
Yeah.
So if they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you, and that's fine. You tried. But typically, people will talk to you.
Yeah, and especially if you are just having a good time and just looking for people to strike up conversations, you could just be like, yo, I like whatever, and some people will be thanks, some people are like, oh yeah, and they'll want to share it with you, and if you're open to basically talking to anybody who will talk to you, you will find lots of people who want to talk to you, and I don't care who you are, or, you know, anybody out there, not everybody's going to have 100% success when they're trying to strike up conversations, but more than 50%, I think, of the people you have, you know, send an icebreaker out to will respond with some sort of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the conversation will be 5 minutes, maybe it'll be 15 minutes, maybe you'll hang out for an hour, or maybe you'll make a friend that you hang out with all day.
And especially if you're at game days, you know that you have a common interest.
Yeah.
And so if you do strike up a conversation with somebody and then you could mention that you're there alone, people will probably be like, oh, come hang out with me and my friends.
Yes. And if you want to talk to anybody in Mega 64, just come up and say, I like your videos. And I can tell you what my response would probably be. Oh, thank you. What's your favorite video? Boom, we're already talking in a conversation. You know, the other piece of advice I would give to you, and this is something I read out there, which was people love to talk about themselves. It's the subject they know the most about. So ask them about stuff that they've done, or, you know, if you're at game days, if you're at Disneyland, be like, yo, what's your favorite ride here? I'm looking for something to go on. You know, what should I go on next? And people will tell you their opinions, and there, you have your conversation right there.
Exactly.
So thanks for your email. Really appreciate it. Good luck, and come talk to us at the next game days.
Please.
Please. Okay, everybody, we're here on the line with Cameron. Cameron, you're here with the HeartSlayers. What's up?
Yes. It's great to be here on a sunny day in San Diego, hot summer night. I have a question about a friend of mine that's a girl, obviously. We've been friends for a couple of years now, and I'm kind of in this strange area where it's like I think I have feelings for her, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that's just like, oh, I love her a lot because she's my friend, or if there's something more. And I've kind of brought this topic up to her a couple of times in the past, and her reactions on it's kind of varied. And most recently, she said something about how it's like she wanted to date somebody that was like her, and I was like, too bad there's nobody like that. And she's like, well, we're alike. And so I was like, then why don't we date? And then she got like really uncomfortable for no reason. Just like gave me like a non sequitur as an answer. So, like she answered that with something completely unrelated, and then said that's my answer, and said that thinking about that subject of us dating makes her very uncomfortable, and that if we continue talking about it, she'd have to ask me to leave. And so it's not that I'm like upset that she doesn't want to date or anything. I'm just curious as to like what this could be, and maybe if I should just let it go and move on with the friendship and whatnot. I've thought about it a lot.
Okay. All right, so you've been friends with this girl for a long time, think you might like her. Seems like she's not interested, even though she drops hints sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I hate. If she just said, no, I'm not interested, and left it at that, it wouldn't bug me, but it's like here and there and whatnot. It's annoying.
Yeah.
A lot of mixed signals.
How long have you guys been friends?
We've known each other, been acquaintances for about 4 years, but we only really became close friends in the past 2 years and whatnot, so it's been a decent amount of time.
Okay, and how long ago did you start getting the feeling that you might have a thing for this girl?
Well, back in freshman and sophomore year, it was kind of an obsession, but then I was like, this is really unhealthy, and I should stop being weird.
Yeah.
And then we were just friends, and then it's mostly this year that we're like closer than ever, that I feel like something's actually there.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't know if that's like just a platonic feeling, like, oh, I've never been this close to somebody before, and it's like just because she's a girl that I think it's that kind of love, or if it's just I love this person because they're my best friend type deal.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking on this episode a lot about friendships and relationships. I think, just to answer your question, I think when you're friends with a girl and you spend a lot of time with them, it's very easy to develop a crush on that person.
Yeah.
I think that's normal. And, a lot of times those crushes don't really lead to a relationship. That is also normal. I think when you really like somebody and you really like spending time with them, it confuses your brain a little bit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But in the world of love and relationships, it's okay. So basically, I feel like the only time you can make a direct approach into a relationship is when you first meet somebody and you guys don't know each other very well at all.
Right.
Yeah.
After you become friends and you've been friends for so long, the direct approach doesn't work.
No.
It's
would
like
feel kinda
it's like a
uncomfortable,
torpedo that just sinks the relationship boat.
Yeah.
Um,
Even though sometimes it might feel easier to date friends because you already know what they're like.
yeah, and I feel like even sometimes when the feeling might be mutual, you guys actually do like each other because you've been friends for so long. The direct approach just makes everything awkward.
Yeah.
And
you kind of have to ease into it.
Yeah. So if you have a crush on this girl, I feel like try not to bring it up. But
especially if it makes her uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, I like dropped the subject right after she said that, and we like haven't brought it up since type deal. But Derrick makes a good point, is that I actually thought about it. It's like, okay, I'm really good friends with her. Do I still maybe want to try and ask her out? And I just kind of like pictured that whole scenario, and it's like, okay, no, I'd feel really uncomfortable, like freaking kissing or hugging or anything. It's like, this is my friend. This would just be like a whole extra layer of something that would just make hanging out feel awkward.
Exactly.
Like the tension to do something when like ordinarily just freaking watch Seinfeld or something and everything's fine, but then if there was that extra layer, it would get kind of hard to deal with. Yeah.
My advice to you is, and it's funny. I had an acquaintance once who described dating women as
Is Garrett?
No, it's not Garrett.
Oh,
This is an
that's a
old
surprise.
coworker of mine when I used to work at the bookstore. This guy considered himself a player.
Oh, God.
He was very flashy. And this was some funny advice, but I think there's some truth to it. He said, describe dating a woman or getting a woman is like playing with a cat. You can't just, a cat is not a dog. You can't just call the cat over and be like, come over here, let's play. You have to get the cat's attention. You got to get something shiny and dangle it in front of the cat and get them really interested in something.
And you gotta act not interested.
Yeah, so I think that you want to, if you have a crush on this girl, make yourself available without making yourself available. The shiny thing that you're dangling out there to try to get her attention is yourself and how awesome you are and how great it would be to date you. Make her want to date you without you telling her that she wants to date you or that you want to date her.
Right.
Yeah.
And she already has an idea of how you feel. So.
Yeah. So, make her feel like it's her own idea. Because I think that if two people are single and they spend a lot of time with each other, it's almost inevitable that they're going to.
Yeah, it always transitions into that.
Yeah. Unless one person gets all like uppity about it and is like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are we dating or what?
When are we hooking up? This Sunday, next Sunday?
Yeah, that's the instant killer. So, you know what? Just be cool. Make yourself available. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. You should be okay with it either way. I think if she starts noticing you, like, wow, he's really cool. He doesn't even, it seems like he's not even into me. Maybe I should flirt more, just.
And now that you bring that up, I remember like 2 years ago or something, I did ask around. She's like, no, I'm not interested, just want to be friends or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And the reason that my feelings are resurfacing like this is because I noticed that the less I care about that, the more she seems to bring it up. So you are correct on that, yeah.
That's a girl thing. If you ignore us, we'll chase after you.
Well, there you go. So there's the advice right there.
No, it's bad advice.
It's very bad advice.
It's very bad advice. Don't ignore her. The best thing you could do is if you really want to try to get her interested in you, you can't force it. This is what we've been telling people all day. There's no way to just talk to a girl and rationalize and reason with her to the point where she wants to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
So you need to just make yourself available, make yourself as appetizing and irresistible as possible.
Yeah,
Be a cool guy who's always doing fun stuff, who really seems to be interested in having her around. And you know what? Let her kind of discover her attraction to you without you having to explain it to her.
Right.
That makes sense.
Maybe that will never happen, and you should be okay with that. In the way that you approach the situation, the way you act towards her, you need to be okay with her not wanting a relationship with you. But if you're cool and you spend a lot of time together and you never put any pressure on her, you may be surprised to find out that one day she's making moves on you.
Yeah.
And then
She just swoops right in there. Yeah.
so that's my advice to you. Don't take it so seriously. Try not to definitely don't fall in love with this girl when she doesn't want to have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Don't put the cart before the horse. Don't get ahead of yourself. Just be a good guy and let her see how great you are, and maybe something will come from that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. And like I said, I'm not upset if we're not anything more than friends because my best friend, I love her and whatnot, everything's fine. I just wasn't sure if something else was going on, how I should approach that, or what's going on with her or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your guys' input very much on that.
Yeah, and you know what? As a guy, sometimes you're friends with a girl and you have a crush on her for a long time and nothing ever comes from it. And honestly, that's just something that happens sometimes to guys in their life. They just have a crush on their friend and it never happens, and they just have to be okay with that. It's a little bit sad, it's a little bit bittersweet, but that's life.
Yeah. You still get a good friendship out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever been friends with a guy that you had a crush on and nothing ever happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people are in that situation, and then you get over it, and you're like, you get over the crush eventually. And then you still have that friend in the end. You didn't ruin that friendship, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, you're just okay with it, but, you know.
Like, it's a little bit sad, but
some things just aren't meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that sounds like that's your situation. You know, it could go either way. Got to be prepared for however it turns out, right?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll hit the store up, get all the goods.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for your call. We really appreciate it. And, good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, see ya. All right, everybody, that's our episode for today. Thank you for watching. Hey, if you want to contact the HeartSlayers, send us an email at podcast@mega64.com or Skype in to Mega64 Podcast. We're taking new calls every other Tuesday at 10 a.m. If you want to follow us, get any updates on the show, or just see what's going on in our life, you can follow us on Twitter. You can find me at Gustafo.
And I'm at Furnace Woods.
Yes, and as always, big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/Mega64 for just $1. You all get to see HeartSlayers episodes 1 week early, which means you're getting all the advice and all the benefits of this show before everybody else, giving you a competitive edge in the relationship world. So big thank you to all our patrons. And a big thank you to everybody who watches us on YouTube, especially if you leave a comment. We always appreciate hearing your take on any of these issues. And I know a lot of these callers and emailers want more than just our advice, so they're reading the comments too as well. That's it for this week. We'll be back again very soon. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.